Well, this week, two forms of security broke down. Today, a technical one. One company goes out of an update, has a problem, and it shuts almost the whole world down. Planes down, banks down, internet sites down, computers down. How serious is that? And of course, the attempt on the president last week, where it shows that even our elected officials, even our people that we have to take care of us, our civil servants, our police, our people who we put in enforcement to take care of our cities, our states, our counties, even the most important people. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So lapse of judgment, failure of security, both physically and technologically, what does that actually mean? Well, today we're going to talk about five things that you should purchase and have, because this is the scenario. This is what happens when you're not prepared. What if it was your bank? What if it was your plane? What if you were stranded? What if it was the city that you're in and all of a sudden the police can't control it? What's your next line of defense? What's your plans? 5 things that we should purchase today.
Life is a winding road.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content. Give us a thumbs down. That's okay if you don't like it. The whole point of this video, though, is to hopefully encourage you to say, you know what, we need to probably take some things in our own hands, because when we are dependent on someone else to do it for us, then guess what? When it all falls to pieces, then we're there stuck with broken pieces and no one there to help us. When we're independent and we seek to do better and wiser decisions, we've diversified, so when one part goes down, we still have others and we're still able to pick up the pieces and keep on going. So we have to make sure that we are ready for any and everything that comes our way. Now, today we're going to talk about the security problems with physical and security problems with technological. Both of these things are big parts of our life. So first, let's talk about the technological. Well, today CrowdStrike had a major issue, and the update, they said it was not a cyber attack, but was an update. It shut down planes, banks, internet sites, even down to the fact of people couldn't access phones that were not like iOS. Some phones were not able to work. So let's talk about a few things here. Number one, what is your other form of communication? What is it? Do you have another CB radio? Do you have a transistor radio? Do you have a ham radio? Do you have any form of communication other than that one device? Do you have a satellite phone? We've brought up satellite phones before. There's sat phones that I've got. I can link the one below that I have. Also, there's little communicators. They're called little transmitters. They're texting satellite phones. They're really a great investment and a great buy because they're half the price or a third of the price. And yes, you can't pick up the phone, but you can still text each other, almost like an old school pager. We have to find other means of communication. Now, here's the thing. Say you can't afford any of that. You're like, Kobe, I can't afford all that. Well, having radios, for instance, on our farm, we have radios that can go all across our farm. They're like little two-way radios. They don't cost much, but it allows me to track my kids, my family, even on this 40, 50, 60 acres here. Now, they don't go far. They may go up to 2 or 3 miles. That may not be the answer. What is the answer? Well, meeting points. $0 to develop a plan. So have you got a plan to say, okay, I want to be, if something were to go down, if technology goes down, if phones can't be reached, if there's no way that I can get from this place to this place, where's our meeting point when we can move? So that way we can all be together. So my kids, my family know this is where we're going to come. This spot, X marks the spot. That way we know we can't communicate, but we have already communicated that that one spot is going to be the place that we come to just in case something goes down. Now, is this just an innocent technological issue? Very much could be. But what if next time it's not? What if all of a sudden you need your bank and you have no way to get the funds? So number 2, you don't buy this, but you have this, cash. You have to have cash. So if we talk about being able to get where we're going and then we can't use our MasterCard, Visa, or we can't use our bank card because technology's down, what is the other form of having money? Cash. You have to have cash. Keep cash on you at all times, not all your money. Don't put it all in one basket, because if somebody steals your wallet, somebody steals something, you're gone. Well, what I tend to do is I carry a wallet. I also carry another style wallet that is in a different place, usually within reach, if it's in a car or in my wife's purse. We keep a secondary wallet on me. Also, I have children who, like my son, who's old enough to where he can be responsible. Give him some of that cash too. So that way, when we're going somewhere, we've spread our monies out, and we're not just all in one person where somebody steals it, it's gone. But now, guess what? If you're stranded with no banking, you're stranded with no way to get home, such as the airports are shutting down. Have you seen the pictures of the airports? Well, people are having to rent cars. Well, how do they rent cars if their banking is down too? So number 2 is having cash. Now, it rolls right into number 3. Number 3 is a prepper bar. Now, this is a little bit of a newer thing. Genesis Gold, again, this is not an integration. I'm not paid to say this, but Genesis Gold has a prepper bar. Now, I gave one away just a few days ago to one of our subscribers. This prepper bar it fits in your wallet. What it is, it's gold or silver, depending on how much you want to spend, but it's broken down in 1/10, 1/4, I think like half ounces. So it's where you can break off pieces of the silver or pieces of the gold if you need to utilize parts of it to get where you're going, bartering. Now, this prepper bar, I'm going to show you a picture of. I'm going to link the website below. It's prepperbar.com. If you use Mac, basically you get 5 or 10% off that. But you need to look at other forms of money. So now we've talked about having communication, technology is down. We talked about having banking, having cash because banking is down. Other forms of getting where you're going, you need to have bartering assets. So if cash is not king, then something of worth is what and how the world works. So we have to find other means. The prepper bars are phenomenal. I think it's like $170 for the silver. So you have to make sure it makes sense for you and your family. But these are some good investments. Now, number 4, have you seen our cities? Have you seen the UK just yesterday and the day before? They're having a complete meltdown where they're burning stuff, they're rioting in the streets. That's not protesting, that's rioting. Now here's the thing. What we saw last weekend with our president, former president too, was sometimes things can't be protected. Was it accident? Was it not? Was it lack of communication? Was it just inept? We don't know. But what matters is this. I cannot look for someone like law enforcement and police and sheriff and highway patrol and state officers and U.S. Marshals and Secret Service. I cannot say that I can put my life in their hands and I'm just supposed to go on with everyday life. I wish that was the case, but we live in a fallen, sinful world that is evil. So I have to protect myself. Now, I did a video on Vanish yesterday with the holster, but what goes in that holster? Have you thought about getting a tool that is a self-defense minded tool that can help you when you have to defend yourself? Now, we've talked about like the shockwave torch, which is the little taser. We've talked about different forms of bats and things like that. But when it comes down to it, you better know how to enjoy the freedoms you have and own something that has the shape of that, and you can utilize it in learning how to defend yourself. At all points and at any point in time, you could be very vulnerable. And there's not going to be a police standing there guarding you and your family. Unless you can hire private security, which we know they have failed because secret security is pretty much what was on Trump. Sometimes people are not going to look out for your best interest like you and your family will look out for your best interest. So therefore, you have to take that into your own hands. So number 4, defense. Start figuring that out for you. Now for me, it is an EDC that I carry every day, and it's one that I personally like. I want you to understand that you have the freedoms right now. You may not have that freedom forever, so you better start picking up things that can help defend your home, because that is the utmost importance. Because who's going to defend your home? Who's going to defend your children? Who's going to defend yourself or your spouse? As much as you want to say the police or the sheriff or the military, it may not happen. So you have to defend yourself on your own sometimes. And think about it. Be independent on this aspect. Just like you're independent with cash and with gold and independent with phones, you need to be independent when it comes to defense. And number 5, I'm going to say what we call a go bag. Some people call them bug out bags. Some people call them travel bags. Some people call them 24-hour bags. They're all kind of names for them. But the point of this is it's a goods bag. If you're stranded in an airport, you're stranded on the side of the road, or you cannot access your funds, you can't access food because they are closed down. There was restaurants and grocery stores that are closed because of this technological issue. So the point of a go bag is you're going to have necessities in it. You may have a first aid kit. You may have some flashlights and security and lighting. You may have some food, some protein bars, some extra freeze-dried foods. You may have some defense tools in there. You may have some cash in there. The whole purpose of this bag is going to be all-encompassing, even down to the things that we just talked about. We have videos on how we travel and go bags and things like that. But all the things I've mentioned, 1 through 4, I have a replica and an extra version of that in my travel bag or my go bag. If I had to leave or I had to bug out, I have this bag. That's not the only thing, but that's not the only thing. When we go somewhere, there's one in our car at all times. So say, for instance, we were on the side of the road and the car quit because the computers quit in the car. Or say, for instance, we get to the store and the grocery's closed, the store's closed, you can't get gas. I keep a go bag with all the necessities in my car at all times. Not only that, when we go places, if you ever see me and Misty go anywhere, she has a bag or I have a bag. Or it's going to be an inconspicuous travel satchel. Now, I may even get crazy enough to put a fanny pack back on. No, I won't do a fanny pack. But the purpose is I have necessities with me at all times. Look at ways that you could build the best go bag. It doesn't have to be expensive things. Now, we've talked about some things that cost a lot of money in this video, like the gold, but the silver doesn't. And having a go bag and building stuff and putting things in it weekly is not a big deal. Put some nice quality organic protein bars in there. Put some first aid kits in there. Put some little flashlights in there. Find a way that you can start doing this over the next few weeks. We put freeze-dried milk in there. We put freeze-dried eggs in there. We put freeze-dried fruit in there. Why? Because in a tough time or if we get stranded, I have calories and sustenance for me and my family. I want independence. I want freedom. Well, there's nothing wrong with having technology and having the securities of living in a first world country like America, but when we get so used to that technology and we get so comfortable with everyone looking out for us, then we become dependent on a system that can be broken, and we've seen that just this week, physically and technologically. Now from this, what do you do with it? You can't develop your own internet. You can't develop you can't develop your own unleaded gas when the pumps don't work. You can't develop your own food on the side of the road. But you can prepare yourself to have these extra things with you at all times. That way you don't put yourself in a bind. You can have the cash to be able to buy the things that you need, to siphon gas out of a pump, but they're not taking credit cards because they have no way to access it, but they can take cash. Having things like the prepper bar. How important is a prepper bar when you can break off 1/10 silver, 1/10 gold, where you can then buy the things that you need to do, and you can just buy it, put it back in your wallet. It's very inconspicuous, so that way you are carrying worth at all times. If all the wealth was in your bank and you can't access your bank, what's it matter? If all the wealth was on the crypto app or the Cash App or PayPal, and you can't get it off because of a phone hack or a cyber attack or just an update, a friendly update is what this was. You can't access your money. You have no money if you can't utilize it. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million in crypto. If that person is not willing to take the crypto for whatever their goods are, you have no money. One thing I learned during hurricane season, especially in the South, and we're in South Mississippi, when hurricanes come, people could care less what you have. They just want gas, food, and cash. If I go to the store to buy something, they can't take your card because the power's out. They can't take your card to buy the gas because the power's out. It's all about having cash. It's all about having barterable goods. You can trade things and make sure that everybody's taking care of everybody. There was times during a hurricane, people would have these cookouts because their freezers were gone. Well, there's other people that had alternative energies and they could plug in with generators and solar generators and making sure they had the goods that they need, the extra gas. So when we talk about stockpiling, these 5 little things are just the start of it. You need to go back and watch some of these playlists about how to make sure you're having the necessities for each and every situation. How serious is this? Well, serious enough to make planes not fly. It's serious enough to make banks not open. It's serious enough to threaten to fire everybody in the Secret Service. It's serious enough to say that they're going to close grocery stores where you can't get food. It's serious enough to say that you can't get gas at some places. It's serious enough to say that the stock exchange in London is closed. All because an update. So what if someone does something sinister and it's for longer? I go back to Leave the World Behind movie from Obama and Netflix. You know, that movie had a lot of truth in it. And some of these dystopian movies, as crazy as they are, can have some truth in it. So sometimes we can look at it and say, you know what? I may need to prepare a little bit better. I may need to be a little bit more independent because I'm kind of sucking it up lately. It'd be good to have some of these things. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you are doing things to take care of you and your family, even when the physical, the technological is down and you can't do anything about it at that point. But if you've prepared, then you can learn to live with the pieces that are broken because you're being independent, you're being sustainable, and you're taking care of your family. Thank you for watching. God bless.
Even if the sky is falling